All right, we're live. You look all right?
You look beautiful, as always.
So do you. Hello, I'm Diana Belchase, and I am so pleased to be here with my friend and Golden Heart sister, Susan Boyd.
What I see is a blooper tape already. Then we're going to do a blooper tape, right?
I told you, when you do 40 pitches yesterday, and I've been doing these all day, at least I didn't call you Harlan Coben.
Am I sitting in the chair he sat in? Really?
Yes, you are.
All right. Well, let's just go ahead. Okay, you can say my name again.
Please stop shouting. Just like hoping they're moving towards the elevator. Okay. Hello, I'm Diana Belchase, and I am so pleased to be here with my friend Susan Boyer, whose book, Lowcountry Boil, has just been nominated for an Agatha, and she's my Golden Heart sister. She is a winner of the Daphne. She has done so phenomenally with this book. I think you were the first person in our group to sell your book, if I remember correctly.
If I understand correctly, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it was pretty quick.
And when you have a book that starts out with a private detective chasing a rabbit, who's really a man in a Harvey suit, coming into the park and finding her best friend, who's been dead for what, 14 years?
14 years.
And then having to face her arch nemesis, who actually married the only man this character ever loved. You have to say, if that can happen in the first 3 paragraphs of a book, you're off to a great start.
Thank you, Diana. That's very sweet of you.
So, for those of us who don't know, what exactly is a Lowcountry Boil? As a matter of fact, what is Lowcountry?
Well, Lowcountry is the area around the sea, and in South Carolina, it's the Charleston area, all the way up the coast. It's the coastal area. So, Lowcountry, flat, opposite from the mountains.
Opposite from the mountains. And what is a Lowcountry Boil?
Okay, a Lowcountry Boil is basically whatever the chef wants to put in the pot, but the typical ingredients are corn, potatoes, shrimp. Usually they boil it in beer. Sometimes they'll throw in crabs, sometimes clams, sometimes even lobster, sometimes lemons, but they put it into the pot, they bring it to a boil, vegetables first, onions with the potatoes and the carrots. You bring it to a boil and then you put the shrimp in just before it's finished until they turn pink, and then you throw it all out onto the table, most of the time on newspaper, and just eat off the picnic table.
I'm getting hungry.
It's very good. And you serve it with drawn butter and cocktail sauce. It's
real
French
beach
bread.
food, huh?
Yeah, good beach food.
So now I understand there's a sequel to Lowcountry Boil. What is it called?
Lowcountry Bombshell comes out September 17th.
So what is this book about?
Lowcountry Bombshell has a Marilyn Monroe tie-in, hence the bombshell name, but there's a woman who hires Liz to keep her safe because she's convinced someone is going to kill her on the 50th anniversary of Marilyn's death and make it look like a suicide. This woman looks just like Marilyn Monroe. She's her doppelganger, and she was coincidentally born, or at least she's been led to believe that she was born 50 years to the minute after Marilyn Monroe. And so all of her life there have been these parallels to Marilyn Monroe, and so she's convinced that she's going to be killed, and she hires Liz to keep her alive.
Oh, sounds like a lot of fun. Will we see the ghost again?
Oh yes, Colleen is a recurring character.
Because I can't do without her. She's absolutely wonderful. Tell me a little bit about this year. You have had a whirlwind year and a half with this book and with awards. Tell me, what does it feel like?
It's surreal. The last 18 months are just absolutely surreal. It's been so fantastic. I'm just the most blessed person that I know. It's been incredible.
So what do you think is your secret to putting these characters together? What would you want readers to know about your books?
Wow. I think the main thing that I would want them to know is that Liz Talbot, my protagonist, is a very able private investigator. She's a modern private investigator. She has the tools of the trade, so to speak. She knows how to use the internet, her smartphone, some eavesdropping equipment, different tools that private investigators can use, and some of it's maybe on the edge of being legal and some of it isn't, but her motives are good, so you know she only uses it for good. So she's a very able private investigator. She's not someone who is still learning that trade, but she also has a very complicated family life.
Oh boy, does she.
Very quirky family, very quirky extended family in the island, the small town where she lives, and a very complicated love life. So there's just so much material to draw on there. The small towns, the complex love life, and then she's always going to have a case. There's always a mystery to solve, and then the romance plays out over the course of the books.
Well, I think it's really interesting to see how you have an alpha protagonist who comes from a family of police officers, right?
Her brother is the police chief, yes, where she lives.
But her mother also volunteers, and there are other people that are involved in the police force, aren't they? Or
actually, no, her mother volunteers, but with more like church organizations and that type of thing. So,
but she seems like she knows everything that's going on in town. And
she's very connected, yes. It's a small town. There are no secrets. Everyone knows everything about everybody.
But with it, it's really nice to see a woman who, even though she's being told, stay at home, don't get involved, she goes out and she does it, and she's not waiting for anybody to rescue her, except for maybe the ghost once in a while.
Colleen does pull her out of the fire time or two, yes.
So, but it's really a delightful read. I wish you all the best with this. I'm rooting for you for this, Agatha, just like I've been rooting for you for all the other awards that Susan richly deserves. And this is from Henry Press, correct?
Yes.
So if you haven't read it, here is a brand new author who will someday be the really big thing, and we're going to be able to follow her over the years and see how her career just takes off. I'm absolutely positive.
From your mouth to God's ears. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for being here. I'm Diana Belchase, here with Susan Boyer. Keep reading. Were you happy with that, or?
I have no idea until I see it, but I mean, you know, I think it was okay. What do you think? You're the pro.